But this is how I define success. Living a balanced life that helps me to fulfill my purpose whilst impacting positively the lives of other people. So this is my definition of success. People define success differently. Some look at it from monetary perspective and all of that. But for me, and for purposes of what I believe and what I live, this is how I define success. The next thing has to do with what principles are. And it's the same. I mean, if you check on Google or you take your dictionary, you can find it. But this is how I define principle. It's the fundamental truth whose application brings or delivers an expected result. So it is, principles are truth. You know, they are not necessarily just fact, but they are truth. That when you apply them, the results that is guaranteed to come to you, so long as you apply them, you would have those results. So that is about principles. Then what is career? For me, a career is a lifelong commitment to a cause that brings out the potential in you for the benefit of humanity. A lifelong commitment to a cause that brings out the potential in you for the benefit of humanity. So if whatever it is that you are committed to doing, one, it is not lifelong. Two, it is not bringing out the best gifts and talents that God has put into you. And it is not bringing any benefit to humanity. I don't consider that as a career. So as you're listening to me, I want you to put this in perspective, that this is how I define career. Now, with the definition that I'm giving about principles, we are going to be talking about those principles. And on your screen, you can see the word identity. It all begins with you, knowing who you are, knowing your purpose and knowing your calling. It all depends on you. If you do not know who you are, you can never fulfill your purpose, because people or situations will try to define who you are. If you go into the story of the temptation in the book of Genesis, what happened to first Adam was an issue of identity crisis. Remember, when God said that, let us make man in our image and in our likeness, Scripture says, and then God made man in his image and in his likeness. But when the tempter came, what did he tell Eve? He said that, no, it's not like that. If you do this, you will become like God. But you know what? Man was already like God. And man missed it. Eve and the husband missed it because of an issue of identity. When you fast forward into the New Testament, the same thing, if you read Matthew chapter 3, verse 17, the last verse of Matthew chapter 3, where just after Jesus Christ had been baptized, and there was an affirmation from God the Father that this is my Son in whom I'm well pleased. If you read from verses 1 through to up to 9, 10, you would find that Satan came again. And this time, he was not being cunning. Straight away, he asked him, if you are the Son of God, remember, God had just affirmed that Jesus Christ is his Son. So the world would question who you are. And if you don't know who you are, the world would define you. And if anybody can define you, they can confine you. So the principles that we are talking about today, I've put them together in these 8 letter word, identity.